doing something for your life, for your goals, is going to hurt a little bit more than waking up and doing the thing you're comfortable and always used to doing. It's going to involve you taking that first step and building a new pathway in your brain that says, okay, I wake up, I do this. And then by using it, it will slowly become easier.
So hi, welcome to Beyond the Paycheck. I'm Paula Christine. So today we're going to talk about real estate development and also personal growth. Kind of two things that really don't go together, but our guest today is David Dippong, got that right? And he's going to talk to us about his journey and how he combines real estate investing and personal growth. So welcome, David.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, so tell me how you came across that journey, how you started that.
So over the last decade, I've been helping a lot of clients in California build, grow wealth, make smart real estate decisions. And what I learned is that you either came from a family who was well prepared to make this decision, or you came from a family who didn't really talk about the finances it would take to sort of buy a home, build your own wealth, and go through those steps. And for the people who had, the process was very easy. And for the people who hadn't, I'm now having to help them through a 2, 3, 4-year process of helping educate, get them ready to buy a home, invest in their own home. And there had to be a better way to reach these people earlier and help them prepare for investing in their own life instead of waiting and then having to spend 4 more years to invest in their own life.
Well, that's really difficult, I think, for anybody. I mean, like, we all would love to own and invest in real estate and have that as a passive income, but I think it's really difficult to get started. I could be wrong, but doesn't it take like a lot of upfront money?
Well, it does and it doesn't. So in high cost areas like California, there are a lot of assistance programs that can help you if you just haven't been able to save up the down payment. But the trade-off is you have to go through a few educational courses, maybe a few 8-hour workshops, and get in line. And getting in line might take 1 to 2 years to get you all those funds. So if you start early and you do the right steps, it doesn't have to be a lot of work, and you don't have to come with an extreme amount of money. If you have the money, great. But if you don't, there are alternatives where you can trade your other limited resources, like time, to make up for the money that you don't have.
So is that just in California, or is that all over the country?
All over the country. There's a company called the Neighborhood Association Corporation of America. I know they operate in at least a dozen states where you can come with 0% down. As long as you go through their program, show that you're a responsible person financially that tries to make their payments on time, you only have to pay for some minor repairs to the house that you're buying. It takes longer. It's a little bit harder to buy than if you just had 20% down and you qualified with a standard lender and everything worked out perfectly.
Right.
But you're going to be here all this time anyway. So why not sign up for those assistance programs and do a little bit extra legwork now and then maybe not need them later? If you look at your local government's home buying assistance programs, first-time home buyer assistance programs, grants, just like with schools, grants are free money if you buy in areas that they're willing to give you the money for. So it might be an area that maybe you don't see yourself living in, or didn't see yourself living in before, but over the next 5 or 10 years, that's going to be the next area that goes up in value because people are investing in it. So you have options to buy a home and then live in there a short while and rent it out if you don't like it, but still have that home so that it builds the wealth needed over the next few years to buy the next home or the forever home or the investment property.
So how do you combine coaching people on building a real estate portfolio and then go into their life and their mindset and their how do you do that? How do you work with people? How do you coach them on both things at the same time?
It often isn't both the things at the same time. It's often coaching on the lifestyle changes and the preparation before, And then it's working on the real estate after. And if they still need help, they can come back around, or they still want to keep developing their personal life to match their goals, they can come back around. But what I found out by working in real estate for so long is that I was helping these people do these things anyway, and it wasn't efficient nor effective for us. There needed to be a separate time where we could work on their financial spending habits and their life and what they wanted and their long-term plan. And then a time where we work on their real estate needs, because the two aren't always the
Correct,
same,
yeah.
but they complement each other.
So when you're working with someone on their mindset, because I love talking about mindset, because I think if you're going to get anywhere in life, you have to change those negative beliefs and turn them into positives. So how do you have like a way that you work with your clients? I mean, how do you take them from changing their beliefs, like say from childhood, to getting to them to where they're, more productive as adults and reaching their goals?
Well, we start at the half step. So it's not changing things from the negative to the positive. It's changing things from negative to neutral. And then changing the neutral to the positive. So if you're, trying to get in shape, and every day you wake up and you're just like, I look terrible. I made so many bad decisions yesterday. And you say 70% of your things are negative, you're going to keep feeling negative.
Right.
So, hey, how about we just change it to, you know what? Yesterday wasn't a win. You know what? I just didn't do what I need to do yesterday. But today, I think I'm going to get one win. It's not extremely positive. It's just matter of fact. I'm going to get one win. And then tomorrow or next week, I'm going to try to get 2 a day. And then the next week, 3 a day. And we make it so small and achievable that you almost can't fight back against it. You're not changing from a negative to a positive person overnight. You're just not beating yourself as much every day.
Well, I think that's half the battle, is not beating yourself up.
Well, the science is that our brain focuses on the negative twice as much as it focuses on the positive, whether that's thoughts, whether that's losses, gains, whether that's, bad things that happen to you in your day versus good things. So what do? We have to start making good things happen in our day twice as often as bad things to reach an equilibrium. And then the more good things that happen, the better a day you can have.
So do you know why the brain focuses on the negative and not the positive?
I don't know all of the science behind it, but the amygdala, where we process our emotions, 70% of it is said to be reserved for negativity. And so you can go in and you can read more into neuroscience and you can learn exactly why that is. For my purposes, I don't need to know exactly why that is. All I need to know is that when we were based on survival, when we were hunting, we didn't like negative things because negative things killed us. Now, in our modern world, negative things aren't so bad. Negative things are somebody took our parking space. Negative things are somebody cut us off. No one's going to die. But we can change the way we feel about these things so that we lose the stress that's going to take 10 years off our life, and so that we can get the life we want now and build more of that life every year for the rest of it. So
do you read books? have you read Dr. Joe Dispenza before?
No, I do a mix of real estate, mindset, intention, success, and fantasy, just for when I need a break from everything that's practical and logical. But I like to rotate, because you start to realize that everyone who's at least a certain amount of successful or hyper successful in an industry all agree on 3 or 4 different points, even though they might not think they do, or they might not be trying. There's always some things that go across. And if it works for everyone, it's probably going to work for you, me, and my clients.
So what are your 3 things that you focus on? So if everybody has 3, go ahead.
The 3 things I focus on are consistency, accountability, and self-awareness.
Those are hard ones.
What do I need? That's self-awareness.
Yeah.
Accountability. How do I get it? And why don't I have it already, maybe because of some decisions I made in my life. And consistency. When I make that change, can I maintain the change more than I don't? Can I maintain the change 51% or more of the month so that I can see a long-term lasting effect?
What do you find most people struggle with? Is it the accountability or the consistency?
You know what? I think both. I think not everybody has an issue being self-aware. I think they have an issue being accountable, and I think they have an issue being consistent. I have two different solutions to that. One, for the accountability, is you control you. The second you start being accountable, all of your goals become possible. So what do you have to lose?
Nothing.
And it might take a few days of somebody asking themselves, what do I have to lose over and over? You already don't like what you have now,
right,
or what's in your life now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeking this growth. What do you have to lose? And for consistency, it's because people try to do too much all at once of things that they don't enjoy or hate. I don't tell somebody who wants to get in shape, who maybe wants to work out like I do, to go out and do 50 minutes of high intensity interval training day one.
Nope.
And then try to keep that up 6 days a week.
Not going to happen.
Every month.
No.
Not going to happen. What I do encourage is, how about you start with 5 minutes a day? Everybody has 5 minutes a day. And why don't you pick the program that you like the most? It doesn't matter why. It doesn't even matter if that 5 minutes a day is you on a bike watching football, because you like the football and it gets you to do the 5 minutes. And after doing that for a couple weeks, 10 minutes isn't hard. Mm-hmm. It's only 5 more minutes. 15 minutes isn't hard. It's only 5 more minutes. And suddenly you're 6 months down the road with habits that are going to make the entire rest of your life better and match more with the person that you actually want to be.
And if you think about it, if you're doing something that you enjoy, like watching football, and you're riding a bike or walking the treadmill, you're likely to surpass that 5 minutes anyway, because you're engrossed in the TV that you're not paying attention. And you can grow pretty quickly.
Exactly. You don't have to love everything you do. You just have to find a way to like it a little bit more, or to do it in the way that you like the most, even though you don't like it.
Yes. So, and this is a personal question. So what's one goal that you had to take your process and go through your process to achieve?
Over this last year, I really corrected my nutritional lifestyle, my eating habits. I was always great at exercising and doing all the things I need to do for work and just putting in the hours, getting it done. But when it came to eating, right, I was like, oh, I'm hungry and I'm out at a meeting. I'll just stop at Jack in the Box, or I'll stop here, or I'll stop here. And I had to take that responsibility out of my hands. I had to just shift. And over the course of one full year, build a nutrition plan, a lifestyle change that I could maintain forever, but would return me to where I am now, which is my most athletic, my lowest weight since I was 18.
Wow.
I'm in the best shape of my life because I started a year ago with some simple changes. And then over the last 12 months, I progressively got more interested in the results I was getting. And by getting more interested in it, I was always willing to take it one step further until I got to a place where I like what I do, I like how I live, and I like how I feel. So why would I stop doing it? The consistency is built in.
But did you have to, I think like with most people, when you think about there's always some underlying mental or subconscious thing that goes with why we do the things that we do. And normally the
Absolutely.
Bad things that we do. And I know this is personal, but were you able to what did you have to, if you don't have to share, but what did you have to overcome within yourself to have that consistency with your nutrition? Was it just that you...
I don't believe willpower is a thing. Besides a few minutes of your day, I don't believe people are just walking around with willpower and discipline. No. I think they make all of the choices in their day easy to make the good ones and hard to make the bad ones. And then they make the good ones more often. I had to take the opportunity to make bad choices away from myself. I had to stop buying the desserts and snacks at home. I couldn't have a little bit and stop. I had to have none of it. If I was driving to an appointment, I had to pack a lunch. I had to take food with me, because if I got hungry and I was passing a fast food place, I would stop half of the time. And that's, for fast food, much too often. So I had to proof my life so that there was always a better option for me to have within arm's reach, or no bad option within arm's reach, so that I could make those decisions with the few minutes of clarity that I would have each day that wasn't built into my schedule, and I could maintain it over the long term. Because I can't eat a cookie and not have more cookies. I can not buy cookies and not want to go to the store because of how long it's going to take.
Well, it's that simple. Has it been a year since you've had a cookie?
No.
You still eat them?
Because I'm in the best shape of my life now, I can
you can eat a cookie,
have dessert one day a week, or I can go out with my friends and eat what I want at the restaurant and don't have to pick or choose anything, knowing that I'm only 2 or 3 days from getting back into the best shape of my life. I don't have to be good all the time, because I'm only a couple of bad days from being good, instead of being at my worst shape and feeling bad every time I have something that I probably shouldn't have, or that my body doesn't even use.
Yeah, I hear you. But, even though I talk to people a lot, and it's hard sometimes to take that first step, that, when you just getting up in the morning and, and maybe it is going to the gym or taking that 5 minutes on the treadmill. Sometimes it's just really hard. I mean, for some people to do that, or you fall off the wagon and then you try to get back up, and it's not willpower. I guess it's inner motivation. I mean, how do you encourage your clients?
It's definitely not easy. But it's not complicated either, and that's where I think people get lost. Using a muscle that you've never used before is gonna hurt for the next week, 2 weeks, because you've never used it before. Taking that first step towards doing something for your life, for your goals, is going to hurt a little bit more than waking up and doing the thing you're comfortable and always used to doing. It's going to involve you taking that first step and building a new pathway in your brain that says, okay, I wake up, I do this. And then by using it, it will slowly become easier. Establishing the habit comes back to what I said before. You don't have to like it. You have to find a way to do it in the way that you like the most. So you have to connect with your goal. You have to say, hey, I would like financial freedom, and I would like to live until I'm 100. I would like my health to be this. You have to define what you want. And now it doesn't matter if it takes 200 or 2,000 steps. We can break it down as small as you like. But any of those steps, any of those paths, results in you a few years down the road living your absolute best life and heading towards your goals with a momentum that's not stoppable. It'll make your goals inevitable, because even if it's 2,000 daily steps, that's still only 6 years. And then you live the last 60, the last 50, the last 40, wherever you are in life, exactly as you're meant to be, exactly as you always dreamed you would be. You don't have to exert yourself now. You just have to start taking the steps.
You make it sound so easy. And it is, I'm sure.
It has to be simple.
It has to be simple.
Otherwise, you won't do it. I won't do it. Nobody will do it if it's not simple.
So a lot of people need your help. They need a coach who helps them, I guess, a lot with accountability portion of that. Mm-hmm.
Most with the accountability.
Yeah. I think it's easier sometimes when you have someone who's behind you and supporting you. How does someone get a hold of you if they're interested in hiring you as their coach?
So there's two ways. One, if they want to go down the real estate avenue, my website is www.dippongrealestate. So my last name and then realestate.com. There you have multiple ways to sign up for information and reach out to me. And for the people who just want to get started on how they can start becoming the person that they want to be, or the person who could get into real estate, I have an alternate email, which is, again, very simple. That's my brand. It's coachwithdave@gmail.com.
Okay.
I made it simple so people would be like, oh, how do I reach Dave for coaching? Well, it's coachwithdave@gmail.com. And I will get back to you because I'm a real estate professional and a personal development coach. So I'm my own boss. I make my own rules. I make my own schedule. And I work until the work is done.
So do you work with people all over the country or?
Yes, for real estate, mostly in California. And then I refer people out for personal development all over the country, or anybody in a time zone that matches up with my day. If I just, if you're in a time zone that is when I'm sleeping or is when my pregnant wife needs me, well, we're going to have to either make it work or that's my limitation right now. And that doesn't have to be yours, but I could possibly make a referral to those people.
When is she due?
April.
Oh, that's coming up. First?
I know. So,
is this your first?
Yeah.
How exciting.
Exciting stuff. The next step, in the life that we want.
That's cool.
And it's going to be fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I had 5 kids, so yeah, it was.
So
yes. That first one is so is the last. I mean, they're all so exciting. Are you going to find out what sex? If it's a boy or a girl?
Oh, we already know. We're having a little boy, which I think is going to be easier. It's easier for my wife to understand. She's like, all right, I got it. He's a little...
He's a little David running around.
Linebacker. He's just running around. Yeah, breaking things, clumsy like his dad,
Yeah. They're having 4 boys and 1 girl. The boys were much easier than the girl.
I mean, I kind of like the mental relationship between a dad and his little girl, but boys are much more straightforward to me. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I was there. You're going to be fine. Ooh, he just hit he's going to be fine. He'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll see. After the first one, you're kind of like, are you really going to touch my kid with your dirty hands too? The last one, you're like, sure, here you go. Take them.
You have to, it goes kind of back to my ideology. You can't control anybody that's not you. And people have been raising babies for thousands of years, at least. And they all did fine. Yes. So we're going to be fine. Regardless of what happens, it's going to be fine.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I hope everything goes well for you and your wife. It is fun being a parent. It's really exciting. So if anybody would like to get a hold of me, you can reach me at paula@paulachristine.com, or you can check out my website at paulachristine.com. So thanks, David, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. And check out my book when it comes out in April as well. The long and not so short of it.
Oh, that's a cool title.
A Simple Path.
That's a cool title.
Yeah, it's a simple path to success, living by design in real estate, after which you can feel free to overachieve and seek out other people or, me or anybody else. But it was meant to be the basic startup guide that comes with your life so that everybody gets the same information and is able to actually start taking that first tiny step towards the person that they wanted to be.
Cool. That's great. I will check it out. I will check it out in April. Thanks again.